Jamie with Country Diggers here. On my other channel, History Hiccups, I'm just going to be doing shorts of history and stuff like that. But the longer videos I'm going to do on history, I'm going to do on Country Diggers. And today we're going to be talking about the Spanish real. Now, I found one in Florida back in October, and we're going to be talking about that, okay? Mine is supposed to be a shipwreck coin, silver shipwreck coin, and it's oxidated like that from the salt water. And it was very thin and easy to break. And I cracked it, and I rolled it in a napkin and put it in my glasses case to keep. And when I unrolled it and took it out, it had already broke apart. So I'm going to show you some pictures of that. And also, I hope you enjoy the history of it. All right. Okay, this article is on the Colonial Coins website, and it's Spanish real. And we're going to talk today about the Joanna and Charles coins from the Mexico Mint, Old Mexico Mint. I think mine is from Old Mexico too. Mine's from Old Mexico. So it's an old coin, mine is. And, but I don't know if it's like Charles and Joanna, but we'll see. Okay. For centuries, Spanish silver coinage was famous throughout the world as the standard by which other coinages were measured, due to its consistent weight and purity. The ascendancy of Spanish coinage dates from 1537, when Charles I, revising an act of 1479, promulgated exacting standards for Spanish silver and gold coins. The Spanish 8 real coin was set at a weight of 423.9 grains. That's 27.47 grams of 0.9305 fine silver. From that date, the coin only decrepted some 4.4% over the next 250 years. Wouldn't that be great if they still made coins like that? In addition to its stability, Spanish coinage was abundant. Spanish regulated coins was not only minted throughout Spain, but also produced in Spain's colonial possessions. As early as 1536, a year before the coinage reform, Spanish colonial silver coins were minted in Mexico City, with the discovery of major silver and gold deposits throughout the viceroyalty of Peru, which included all of Spanish South America from what is now Panama down to Venezuela. Major mints were opened in Lima, Peru from 1568 to 1589. Then reopened in 1684. Paso, Bolivia from 1575, and Santa Fe de Bogota, Colombia from 1620. Later, additional mints were located in Guatemala City from 1733, Santiago, Chile from 1750, and Paparanian, Colombia from 1758. From these locations and to a lesser extent from Spain, a number of coins made their way into the English colonies. The first New World Mint. It was well known that in 1492, Columbus laid claim to the New World for Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain. Upon the death of Ferdinand in 1516, the combined territories of Leon and Castile were inherited by their grandson, Charles I of Spain. In 1520, Charles also took the title of Holy Roman Emperor as Charles V. Charles was the son of Joanna, Juna La Loca, who was the daughter of Ferdinand and Isabella, and Philip the handsome Duke of Burgundy. Charles ruled Spain along with his mother Joanna, who died in 1556. On January 16, 1656, Charles gave up the throne and retired to the monastery of Yuste. It was during the reign of Charles and his mother Joanna, 1518-1558, that the first colonial silver was minted in the New World. Okay, now we're going on to, let me get there. Okay, we're going on to the Charles and Joanna Silver. They're called the early series, 1536 to around 1542. The undated Charles and Joanna silver coinage was minted in Mexico City in two series. The first series was produced from the opening of the Mexican Mint in 1536 until about 1542, when a new set of die punches arrived from Spain. The first denominations to be minted were the 1 quarter, 1 half, 1, 2, and 3 real coins. The quarter real silver was soon dropped because it was too small, while the 3 real, frequently confused with a 2 real, was replaced and a larger 4 real coin with a larger 4 real coins. Assayers whose initials are found on these coins are R, G, F, and P. Francisco del Rincon, Juan Gutierrez, Esteban Franco, and possibly Pedro de Espina, although the initials would represent his given name rather than his surname, as was the practice in later times. Okay, just for a side note here, Real, which is spelled like Reale, and also Real, it just means royal. That's all it means. Spanish royal. That's what real means, royal. Okay. The reverse of the earlier series of Mexican silver displays the crowned heraldic shield of Leon and Castile. The shield is divided into 4 quadrants, with a castle in the upper left and lower right quadrants, and a lion in the lower left and upper right. At the base of the shield is a pomegranate. On either side of the shield is the mint mark M for Mexico. The reverse legend has a variation of Carlos et Iona Regis in Spanish. I know I don't speak Spanish, but anyway, it just means Charles and Joanna rulers. The full legend is on the largest denomination coin, while it is more sharply abbreviated as the size and denomination of the coins in the series decrease. On the small one, 1 quarter real, averse the shield was replaced with a crowned initial K without mint mark, while the half real contained the initials KI for Carlos and Iona. For Joanna, it's Iohana, and the mint mark M below. The reverse of the coins in this series show 2 crowned columns representing the Pillars of Hercules. This signified the end of the world, according to the ancient classical writers. Between the columns is a banner with the word PLVS, or an abbreviated form on smaller denominations. for the motto Plus Ultra, which translates as more beyond, alluding to the Spanish discovery and conquest of the New World. Either the use of dots or a number designated the domination of the coin. Below is the initial of the two R and G below is the initial of the assayer. Of the four assayers for this series, the first two, R and G, included their initial between the bases of the columns, while the other two, P and F, added their initial to the averse, replacing one of the two mint marks to the sides of the shield. The legend on the reverse of these first coins continued the averse legend with some form of Spanish of that's Spanish for of the Spains and the Indies. Okay, it was supposed to say, I'll spell it, Hispania, which is Hispania, RVM, and then space ET, space INDIARVM, which means of the Spains and the Indies. Again, abbreviated depending on available room based on the size of the domination. The use of the plural for the size of the domination, the use of the plural for Spain refers to the various kingdoms within what we now call Spain. The reverse of the small quarter real has a single crowned column with the mint mark to the left and the assayer initial to the right. Early series coins are quite rare, with possibly about 300 to 400 surviving examples, while there are at least 2,500 coins surviving from the later series. The late series is around 1542 to 1572. So, sorry, I had to get a drink. Around the year 1542, new die punches were sent to Mexico from Spain. Punches are handcrafted, hardened steel tools used to individually impress small elements of the coin design into a die, sort of like small branding irons. Each punch would be used to hammer a specific image or letter into a block of metal that would become a die. For example, there was a punch for the pomegranate, another for the lion, one for the castle, and for others of each of the letters. Major elements of the design, as the columns and the outline of the shield, were cut into the die by the die makers without the aid of punches. The punches that arrived around 1542 were the third group of punches sent to Mexico to be used in making the dies. Generally, there were no major changes in the style of the punches, so this event in itself would not be a major dividing line between one series and another. However, along with the new punches, the design of the coins was modified, creating what is known as the later series. The basic design remained the same, but the assayer's initials is always on the averse of the coin, so that his initials was to one side of the shield and the mint mark to the other side. Assayer's initials on the later series coins are GARSLO, Gutierrez G, and Rincon R were discussed above, the only other identifiable initial is Luis Rodriguez, L. It is thought the L and O coins were the final products in this series. The reverse of the coin was modified so that the two crown pillars of Hercules were placed in the water, representing their actual location at the Straits of Gibraltar. This image symbolized the ocean passage from the old world to the new. The modification was adopted on later cob varieties and has become known to collectors as the Pillars and Waves design. Also, the motto Plus Ultra was modified. Rather than simply using PLVS in a banner between the columns, the full motto was included, broken into 3 sections by the 2 columns with the banner removed. This modification actually represented a change in the punches. For the 2 earlier punch sets had the motto PLVS on a banner as 1 punch. Darn it. Oh, come on. Okay. Hold on. Okay, here we go. My tablet went off. Okay, here we go. Where was I? Okay. Rather than simply using PLVS in a banner between the columns, the full motto was included, broken into 3 sections by the 2 columns, with the banner removed. This modification actually represented a change. Okay, I did that. Okay, it represented a change in the punches. For the 2 earlier punch sets had the motto PLVS on a banner as 1 punch, while the new set of punches simply had the initial individual letters without a banner, and included punches for each letter in the motto, not just PLVS. Of course, on smaller denomination coins in the series, as much of the legend as would fit was added, divided by the columns. If y'all are confused by these Spanish reals, join the club. Anyway, this series contained to be minted after the ascendancy of Philip II in 1556 at the Mexico City Mint. They even continued to use the Charles and Joanna legend. However, at Lima, when the mint opened in 1556, they used the same design as at Mexico City, but with a Phillips II legend, PHILIPVS, the second legend. Okay. It was not until March 8th, 1570, that Philip decreed a new design would be created, for coins produced in the New World, which at the time included the mints in Mexico City and Lima, Peru. Dice for the new designs were produced in Spain and arrived at American mints in 1572. Presumably, as the old dies broke, they were replaced with the newly designed dies. These were numerous varieties of Charles and Joanna coins. Neesmith has categorized the series based on the domination Acer initial style of the initial, with with annulets or plain, and position of the initial in relation to the mint mark, either to the right or left of the shield. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to get some more water. Based on these distinctions, he has listed 26 types for the early series, found in 68 different combinations. For the late series, they list 80 types found in 220 combinations. His combinations are not true die combinations, for they are only based on distinctions in the punches used for the central designs of the obverse and reverse. Obverse varieties are based on the different punches used in the crown and the shield, while reverse varieties are based on the punch used for the crown above the column. The various known combinations of these design varieties have been assigned letters. For example, Neesmith 45 refers to 2 real coins with the Acer initial G to the left of the shield and the mint mark M to the right. However, this coin is found in various design combinations. In fact, for this item, Neesmith lists 5 combination variations. The first is Neesmith 45, combining his reverse design 15 with reverse design A. The next combination is 45 small a, reverse design 16 with reverse capital A. With other list as 45B, a verse 17, reverse capital A. 45 little c, a verse 18 little a with reverse capital A. And 45 little d, a verse 19 with reverse capital A. If y'all understood that, you're geniuses, okay? In the late series, in addition to the 220 combinations, Neesmith also listed several variations in the legend. He records over 50 variations of a verse legend and about 60 variations of the reverse legend. These distinctions are noted in his catalog, but are not assigned different numbers. Hence, a Neesmith number, which represents a particular Acer and mint mark combination found with a specific verse and reverse design combination, may be found in several varieties. For instance, Neesmith 48D, small d, is found with 3 different verse legend varieties and 4 different reverse legend varieties. If these variations and their observed combinations are considered, the number of varieties would considerably increase. It should be remembered these legend varieties are limited to differences in wording and punctuation. They do not include letter punch varieties. If punch variations are considered, the number of varieties would increase even further. Also, as the coins were hammer struck, these are numerous doublings and overstrikes that are not die varieties, but unique items created by movement of the dies between strikes. In summary, the diversity and variation found in these coins is substantial. Okay. Whew. Okay. We will go on down. Okay. Let's see, where are we? Okay. The colonial 2 real from the rule of Charles I and Joanna, 1518 to 1558, from the latter series, displaying the pillars and with the waves, as small rings or amulets in the legend on the coin have been transcribed as colons and stops. According to Neesmith, G-M and M-G coins are the most expertly made in the series. Records verifying that Gutierrez was the assayer when the royal investigator Francisco Telio de Sandoval inspected the mint from May 27th through July 15, 1545, as part of his 4-year mission in Mexico to inspect all royal offices. Neesmith suspects the G-M, that's capital G dash capital M, and capital M dash G capital G coins were made during this period, as to have the highest quality products to show the inspector. Thus, they possibly date to 1545. Okay. According to the Neesmith classification, this example consists of two verse. Okay. We'll go on down. Okay. On the observe and reverse, a small dot is apparent in the center of the coin. On the obverse, just below the intersection of the shield, and on the reverse at the top of the first stroke in the capital V, just below the two larger rondels that designate the domination. These dots were made by a depression in the die caused by a compass that was used to describe the circles that bordered the legend. On the obverse to the right of the shield is the M mint mark for Mexico, and on the left is the initial G for the assayer who is identified as Juan Gutierrez. In the legend, the letter R in Carlos was either repunched into the die or doubled due to die chatter during striking. There also appears to be a die break at the bottom of the S. Other small die breaks occur at the first stroke of the fall. Okay, I guess that was it then. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I think I just read an example of two capital R Mexico assayer G, which is Charles and Joanna Late series, and the capital G dash capital M Neesmith 45th D. Okay, that's the Charles and Joanna Late series. And the averse, Carlos et Iona Regis in center, capital G, capital M. Reverse is Jerusalem Cross, the Jerusalem Cross, and Hispania something or other, E.T. Indium. Excuse me. In the center, PLV SVLTR. Okay, that was an example. I don't even know if I know I put pictures of examples in there, but I think mine. May be the latter series. It could be the latter series. I'm not sure, which is like the late series, which is what did they say the late series was? How old? 1542 to 1572. Could be. Could be older, could be this age, could be more in the 1800s. I'm not sure with my coin, okay? I know it's a shipwreck coin, and so that's all I know about it, really. But it's cool. Hope y'all enjoyed. See you back later. Bye.